When you work in Microsoft Access, you should delete any table record you no longer need. For example, if a customer places an order and then calls back immediately to cancel it, you should delete the order. Here's how you delete a record in VBA. In this movie, we're going to work with two database objects. The first is the delete current code module, which we'll get to in a moment, and the second is the clients table. So I will double-click the clients table and open it, and we see that we have 3 clients. I'm going to add a new client with the name of test. That's what we'll use in our code later. On the new record row, in the client company field, type test, T-E-S-T, then press the tab key, and then type any number. I'll just type the number 1, and then press tab. With that record in place, I'll go over to the navigation pane and double-click delete current. The delete current code module already has the skeleton of the code in place. So we have the sub and end sub statements, and then we're defining the myR variable as a record set, and then when we're done working with it, we're going to close it and release it from memory using the set to nothing key phrase. The first thing we need to do is to use a set statement to identify the record set we want to use and how we're going to open it. So that is set, S-E-T, space myR, and again that variable is defined as a record set, then equal, a space, and then current DB, C-U-R-R-E-N-T DB. So we're working within the current database, period. Then open record set, O-P-E-N, and you should see open record set highlighted in the autocomplete list. If you do, press tab. If not, you can just type it the rest of the way out. Now we need to identify the table that we're going to use. So type a left parentheses, and then double quote, and clients, C-L-I-E-N-T-S, double quote, and a comma. And now we need to tell Access how we want to open it. And in this case, we need to open it as a dynaset, or a dynamic record set. The keyword for that is DB, open, O-P-E-N, dynaset, D-Y-N-A-S-E-T. And again, that's all one word. Type a right parentheses, and then press enter. And I'll press enter twice to give myself a little bit more room. The next line of code we're going to type in finds the first instance of test inside the client company field. So we have myR, period, find first, F-I-N-D, and then find first appears in the autocomplete list, so press tab, then press a space, and now we need to identify the name of the field and also the value we're looking for. So type a double quote, and then a left square bracket, and client company, all one word, C-L-I-E-N-T, company, C-O-M-P-A-N-Y, that's the name of the field, and then a right square bracket. Now type a space, an equal sign, a space, and the value test inside of single quotes. We're identifying it as a string within a string, so instead of using double quotes, we're going to use single quotes. So single quote, test, T-E-S-T, single quote, and then double quote. So looking over that line, and the syntax is a little convoluted, I realize, we have myR dot find first, a space, double quote, and then in square brackets, the name of the field client company, a space, equal sign, and then in single quotes, the value test, and then double quote. Press enter, and now I'm going to type in the code to delete the record we just found. So that is myR, M-Y, capital R, dot delete, and press tab. With all that in place, press F5 to run the code, and then press Alt F11. And when you do, Access indicates that the record has been deleted. So now if you close the clients table by right-clicking its tab and then clicking close, and then double-click it in the navigation pane in the table section, you'll see that the record is gone. I'd like to mention 2 things before I end this movie. The first is that you can use transactions, which I describe in another movie in this chapter, to verify the delete action. Verifying that a user wants to delete the selected information helps prevent them from doing so accidentally. Second, you should never delete any information you could conceivably use again. For example, if an employee moves to another company, don't delete their record. You might need to look up who made a sale to a client, and if you delete that person's record, you'll have no idea who did it. Always err on the side of keeping more data than you need, especially now that disk space is so cheap.